Welcome to HortTube. My name is Jim Putnam. In this video, I'm going to do a quick walk-around tour of a nursery in South Alabama. This is a Flowerwood Nursery. It's a wholesale nursery. They sell to garden centers and Home Depots and lots of places all over the country. It's a big nursery operation. I've done a couple of tour videos here before. There's a lot of bare ground in all the nurseries that I'm going to. This was such a giant year in the nursery business that pretty much every nursery that I've visited over the last few months has had giant holes in it where, it's just nobody could grow plants fast enough to keep up with the kind of demand that we've seen this year. So I'm going to walk around and show you some large groups of things. I think I even will probably start right here in these mountain snow pieris. A lot of these things you guys will have seen before, but not in the size groups that I'm going to show them to you. And there's some tree form Encore Azaleas over there that I think you guys will be super interested in. So take a look at this giant group of touch of gold hollies. I have planted one of these at the house. I actually let a hibiscus kind of lay over on it for a few weeks and it lost a little bit of its color. These definitely need a direct sun to be this colorful, but wow, in a big group like this or any kind of mass planting, look how showy this thing is. This one is going to get, it might reach 4 feet in height over time. It's a little slower growing than some other hollies, but it'd be easy to maintain this one between 2 and 3 feet, slightly wider than tall. How about a few mountain snow pieris? Look at these. I've planted one of these at the house as well. Look at the flower buds that have formed on these. It's breezy. This is the morning after a hurricane that I'm shooting this on the Gulf Coast, and it's still pretty breezy from it. But look at all these mountain snow pieris. These are going to get that kind of bronzy new growth on them during the season. They'll bloom early with white flowers, and then they get that bronze new growth on them, and then of course they're green year round. These are definitely going to be part shade or shade evergreen shrubs. So here's another shrub that can brighten a kind of a dark space. This is a Florida Sunshine Elysium. I've talked about them many times on the channel. Pretty rugged plant that is a nice bright spot of color in any landscape. Easy to keep this one, maintain this one as a kind of a small ornamental shrub, or let it get big. I mean, you can let this one get almost screening plant size. But easy, great deer resistant plant. Grows in the sun or the shade. It really does. It's a very adaptable plant, and in a shady space it really adds a pop of color, although the color will be a little more muted in the shade than it is in more sun. There's a super long line of autumn bonfire Encore Azaleas right there, and then these are autumn moonlight Encore Azaleas here. Just a super long line of them. These are in 7-gallon containers. I like moonlight a lot. It's got a little bit of a green hue. I hope that shows up in that flower right there. It's got a little bit of green in the middle of it. It's always been super interesting to me, and it's right here almost the beginning of November, and they're in flower right there. I'm gonna scan you around slowly. This is a pretty big nursery space here. Big, giant, open field. I'm going to walk around, hopefully find a few interesting things to shoot. But here it is, almost November, and I got this big group of white wedding hydrangeas that are coming back into bloom here. And they start out with that, that green hue to them right there, and then just get brighter and brighter white. Isn't that a beautiful group of those? This is a nice group of Bigfoot Clayera, and I have not actually covered this one. This is another Southern Living Plant Collection Clayera. They have quite a few, 2 variegated ones, Romeo and Juliet, and then several others. Leanne is one of my favorites. Got really nice burgundy new growth on it. Bigfoot gets large, as you would expect. That's the reason you would call it Bigfoot. But look at it's just a great screening plant. Pretty underused, really. with just absolutely perfect foliage on it. And this is a big group of 7 gallons right here. If you'll notice, in between the rows, they actually already have their covers laid out, just in case they, or whenever they need to cover, they can come through here. They put these, put some weight on top of it just so it doesn't blow around the nursery, but they'll come in, take those off, and stretch these covers out over these rows. So that's what you're seeing as we're going through. They're just preparing to winterize if they need to. Look at this big group of red diamond lower petalum. This is a red flowering lower petalum. It's beautiful. Pop of color year round. So this is pretty cool. These are tree formed Encore Azaleas. This is a very young crop. I'll show you some that are a little more finished in just a couple of minutes, but you see how they have them tied up here so they don't have to pick them up all day. And I'll show you why in a minute, because there are plants laid all over the place here. But here's flowers popping out on that little tree form Encore Azalea. They'll develop the heads or the top pretty quickly in the spring, but they're the height they want them now. They just need to put a little more growth. I've been involved in the nursery business for a long time, and this is one of those unfortunate tasks. If you get any kind of tropical weather, all these sky pencil hollies have blown over here, and a lot of these golden Oakland hollies have blown over here. It's a beautiful crop of them, and they'll get them stood up pretty quick. There's a big crew of folks right there standing plants up the morning after a hurricane. I'll swing you back around here pretty slowly. The low profile things like these autumn fire Encore Azaleas don't blow over. You know, maybe one or two do, but not very many. But this is typical autumn fire. You know, it just seems like it's always blooming. Super compact Encore Azalea, one of the lower growing cold hardy varieties. It's a big group of them here coming into bloom for their fall bloom. So here's a more finished crop of these tree formed Encore Azaleas right here. This is debutante. What a pretty flower on this one. I don't think I've ever actually covered this one, but it's got a really nice flower color on it. Let's see, as we're moving down here, these are Empress. I can tell Empress pretty easily. It's got smaller flowers, but they're in huge clusters, typically like that. And so they end up being very showy. Here's a big group of Autumn Majesty Encore Azaleas, and I mean a big group. This one's actually being released in the spring of this next year, but all the nurseries are building up availability on it. This is a nice dark double purple or semi-double purple flower. Here's a couple other things I have in my yard. There's some dragon prints, cryptomeria right here. Look how full these are. Really just don't have to do a whole lot to them to have them be that full. They've pulled a lot out of here. They're shipping these for sure. And then here's some nightlight Chamaecyparis right here. I actually put 2 of these in my front yard. Just another nice pop of gold color. And this is a nightlight Chamaecyparis